In ancient Gbagyi and Gbari communities, marriage was so important that neither of the couple could decide who would become their future partner. Before we start, it is important to note that while the traditions and customs of the Gbagyi and Gbari people concerning marriage were largely the same, there could be slight variations based on certain peculiarities of some communities. Every aspect of their marriage rite was meant to build a resourceful, cohesive, united and responsible family that would make significant contributions to the growth of their communities, as well as their cultural heritage. Grab a bowl of japa or a cup of coffee, and join us as we take a fascinating journey into the traditional marriage rites of the Gbagyi and Gbari people of north-central Nigeria. In ancient Gbagyi and or Gbari communities, a solid foundation for marriage was laid by parents for their children. In those days, parents arranged marriage for their children, as early as when such children were born.
If a child born, if it's a female, maybe it happened that I was born the same day or the same month, then my parents will go to the family. That's what have been used like a candle. They will go see it and say, "Oh, this is the girl that born in this house. My son want to marry the girl." Lady have no saying at that time. It is the parents that have saying. If parents say that I want you to go and marry in this family, whether you like it or not, you have to go you have to go.
A family, either a father and the father of the lady or the parents of the lady will meet and discuss. I have found so thing here and I think I love it for my child, and it starts from there.
They would consider how well or decent the family of the prospective spouse was before approaching them with or agreeing to such proposal. Some of the most important things they considered as red flags were whether the would-be laws had history of witchcraft, theft, laziness, snatching of other people's spouses, and so forth.
They will investigate what is the root of this lady. What type of parents does she have? Do they have the trait of witchcraft, theft, stealing, aggressiveness, lying? Now, these are some of the attitudes. Laziness, these are some of the attitudes the Gbagyi man will not. Gbagyi man says, these are some of the things, these are some of the traits, some characters, then you suffer. No problem.
No parent would allow their child to marry into families that had bad reputation in the community. While infancy betrothal proved very successful in our ancient communities, things began to change as such communities evolved.
The old papa will look for character. He said, this girl character is good, and this boy character is good. So they will try to join them together, and that thing will move on successfully.
This, we shall see in subsequent parts of this episode. Once there was an agreement between two families that their children would marry in the future, some of the marriage rites would begin.
So your parent will be going there all the time to take care of them, take care of her.
When the children grew and the boy was old enough to take responsibilities, he would begin to farm for the father of his prospective bride. The Gbagyi people called it Yeyifwa.
Before you can get a wife to marry, you must be a strong person. You must not be a lazy person. Because it will take you years to farm for your in-law. Many years, up to 7. And so if you don't have that strength, that will, that acumen of trying to work hard for your in-laws to see that you are really a promising husband, you will not get a child, I mean a wife.
Hayeji, Gaba, Ilaba, Gmamai, Ajilo, Watana Goma, Alu Halufwa, Watana Biar, Ajilo, Watana Goma. Har Eye, Nkwanuho, Ekmalo Hai, Elo, Doji Moi, Yejivien, Abogea, Ale Hanu Yeyifwa.
So you'll be laboring for her for that period. So those days, when you have female children, the father is okay, even he didn't farm anything.
The 7 years of service were to prove a man's commitment to and appreciation of the woman he hoped to marry. It was also to demonstrate that the man could provide for his family as expected.
The suitor was expected to touch the households of the bride's or the will-be in-laws' house. Touching of house was an annual event. You will go and cut grasses, we call it obia. You cut it, you come and weave it, and touch the entire house. Every year there must be a new grasses put on the top roof of the entire house, done by the will-be in-law, and it was supposed to last for 7 years.
Those days, in most Gbagyi communities, Yeyifwa and other errands a groom had to do for the father of his bride was all that was needed as dowry. Giving money or other items came with the evolvement of the communities or the advent of westernization.
Papa she equal about parish, a use line as I want to tow up with us sitting. As I want to buy you, I will go time while line could buy alone, don't want to buy you. As I have a parish, you good name. I will line to a one hot up Paris, no hatcher her budget you have for. Shaku Shilonu, Papa she. I like question Papa, or Gamma alone. You do any was also no
corn. You know, they harvest it and tie big ones, and there is a number is special for that occasion, for that business. So there was a number of things, those corn harvested. You have a number of them that you have to provide as a dowry until that number is completed, and then socializing is going on between the families, not even you.
You would ask, if parents had to choose spouses for their children at infancy, when such children grow, did it always lead to successful marriages?
As far as I get a woman that you want to marry, after going serial Yeyifwa for some years, that the last Yeyifwa, that is a good guy, that last one, to come back and tell us this your wife. This is home. The woman say, you will not marry him again. His friend organized himself and go and carry the wife by force to the house. And that lady was very, very strong. She demolished the fence. The fence was just out and jumped out. When go where, nobody knows. So the sight of the woman, they couldn't see her till the following day in the morning. The one that see her in her father's house. The father said she came here in the night, around 1 o'clock. It's okay, she should go back. She said she should not go back. Then the father says, hence I'll come like that. We should give her. Baba was the chief of cow. Then the whole story went to the chief palace. The chief says, hey, she said that she don't want him. Now we are not in olden days. We will come back to another era. So we should give the woman. Go and look for another woman.
And if the character of the husband was not liking to the woman, she would divorce the man and go and marry another man. And the same thing equally, if the attitude of the wife is not liking to the man will divorce the wife. Or another thing, if the woman was not being satisfied in terms of food supply, the woman may divorce the man. Or lack of giving birth to children. Either if the fault is from the man, the woman may divorce the man and go and marry another man. Equally, if the woman is unproductive, the man can forsake the wife and go and marry another woman. And you know, in the olden days that you are permitted, you are allowed to marry even as many wives as you want.
When a young man served the father of the woman he hoped to marry for 7 years, but the woman turned around to say she would not marry him, then what? Even though marriages across distant communities were encouraged, most of the marriages usually occurred within the same community.
There weren't serious movements of people from place to place. So you find that initially most of marriages took place within the community.
It was also common to see distant cousins marrying one another. As societies evolved, infancy betrothal became outdated. The role parents played in choosing spouses for their children wore thin. Gradually, young men and young women began to enjoy the right of choices concerning whom to marry. In the pre-colonial and colonial era, once a man saw a girl he liked, he would inform his parents. His father would then contact the parents of the girl, sometimes by delegation. In some communities, such as Gbari, in FCT Abuja, it was the man's best friend that would approach the girl for his friend.
You see, you couldn't even go to your girlfriend alone. You had to carry a friend. It is that friend that will now be carrying your messages to her. You stay somewhere, you send a friend. And friends were trusted. You know, if there is no trust, there is possibility the friend can. And it happened. It happened. There were cases like that. And that created crisis, social problems in the community. But everyone who had a friend who was looking for a girl would be trusted. So he's the communicator. He's the intermediary between the boyfriend and the girl. You know, so it is only on the day of marriage that the two of them can come together. But most of the time, you can't be seen in the open together. No.
Once the parents of the girl and also the girl herself were okay with the man's proposal, the young man would be called upon to declare his intention before the girl's uncles and/or parents. After the formal declaration, one of the man's uncles, and in some cases with the man's best friend, would pay a formal visit to the girl's parents. Such visit took different forms. In some Gbagyi communities, the visit would require some gifts to the girl's parents. Acceptance of such gift indicated approval of the relationship. In some communities, Such visits could be 2 times, while in others it could be 3 times, before the final arrangements of the wedding were formalized. Part of the gifts taken to the bride's father could be a goat or a cock. These animals were usually sacrificed to the ancestors and prayers offered for the offspring of the intending couple. In most Gbagyi communities, there were 3 categories or stages of the wedding ceremony: Mulabajida, Mulabiida, and Muladagmayinda. In part 2 of this episode, we shall go deeper into the various stages of the Gbagyi traditional wedding rites. We shall also bring to you one of our grandmothers who describes the fascinating traditional wedding ceremony, which she experienced as one of the last set of people to go through such, before the encroachment of Western traditions. Remember, your subscription can give us power to do more. Is there anything similar with your own culture and traditions? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.